Hey, what's up guys? Got a new video, still about the BFL thing. I had to bring up the BFL one more time. There are so many comments on there and I like reading them all. There's one in particular, I've been meaning to make this video for years now and just, I kind of forget. So I'm gonna go into this, kind of hear me out on this, okay? Everyone's giving their opinion about banning forward-facing sonar in the BFLs. Some like it, some don't care. I would say for some guys, they've never been put in certain situations. Like, you gotta realize, a lot of guys don't fish a lot of different lakes. So for some guys, like say they live on a river, or they live, you know, in places where it doesn't really come into play, they don't see the problem with it. Like co-anglers are like, yeah, I don't see a problem, it's never an issue. Then you got other lakes that it's so dominating that those co-anglers in those divisions are sitting there like, hey man, we're getting put in the back of the boat over water where it's all suspended fish and they're never getting a chance at catching a fish. Like I basically give them 0.1% chance of catching a fish. You know, you might go an hour with seeing one fish out there and the boater's throwing at it and knows it's in 23 foot of water over 50. And the co-anglers basically might have cast all day long and never cast around a fish. See, that's the thing, is that they could literally never make a cast to a fish all day long. Now that could happen, right, in any lake at any specific time. The problem is, and as much as I've been fishing, I don't think if I stayed in 15 foot of water or less all day long on any lake in the country, I don't care what time of the year it is, you're gonna throw at some fish. You're gonna put your bait around some fish. That's just randomly, not to say that there aren't guys going out there and actually putting you around them. So I understand that part of it. That's a huge part. And even if they are put around fish at times, they don't feel like they are, right? So like out there in the middle of the abyss, sometimes you don't feel like you're around anything, and they're probably right. And so it's like, man, it'd be so hard to pay that money to feel like you've never even been given a shot at a chance to do something, okay? And that's where this video kind of takes a turn in the other direction, is you're paying a lot of money for something that's a little out of your control, right? Now, co-anglers have to do this all the time. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering where I'm at, yeah, I'm at my daughter's soccer tournament, and so I forgot that it's Labor Day, so we're going an extra day. We have Monday off, so I didn't actually prepare for a video for Monday. So that's why I'm up here doing this. I always bring my stuff, and all these comments were coming in. I'm like, let's just knock this out of the park right now. I don't know if this is going to be a home run. A lot of people apparently don't like when I do these videos. They want me to stick strictly to fishing. But then I kind of ask them sometimes if they watch some of my fishing videos, and I get no reply from them. So I'm like, it's like, you ask me to make fishing videos, I make them, and then I ask them if you watched them, and then nothing. That's another story. I'm gonna still keep doing the fishing videos, right? But I do want to talk about this stuff. People say they don't want to talk about controversial videos. This isn't controversial. There's nothing controversial about this. This is just talking about fishing, the fishing industry, okay? And what's going on. This affects a lot of people. And a lot of people want to know. A lot of people want a voice because they don't really get a voice in this. And so I try to look at this from a lot of different sides, right? I gave you the sides of the BFLs and about like the company side, about why they might be doing this. And it's strictly, I think, trying to look out for the masses rather than a couple of people. And so I'm going to speak on this part. Now, the part of the video that I want to talk about is this. A lot of times they've asked, like, hey, why don't they make this like a team event? And let me explain this for some of y'all that don't know what I'm talking about. I think in the one WON, the one tournaments out in California, they have boater, I don't know what they call them, but basically boater co-angler, okay? So a boater draws a co-angler and they combine the weights, okay? And that's what they do. And so you are basically drawing a co-angler And the coiners drawn a boat are just like normal, but you combine weights. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of this. Some people have said like, Todd, you would enjoy it. It's great. It makes the day better and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to know that like I spend so much time and so much effort and do everything in my power. I practice hard. I practice really hard, right? I've done all my homework in the sense of not homework for the legs. I'm not going out there asking people or like trying to find spots. It's like what I consider pre-fishing is my last 30 years of my life. I don't care if I've been on a new lake I've never been to before. I practiced for 30 years. I should make a video about this because I've tried to explain it to some people and I think it goes over their head. But they're like, how much, if I show up to a brand new lake and they're like, how many days of practice did you get for this? I'm like, I don't know, 30 years, 35 years. I'm like, what? I'm like, I've been practicing my whole life. Every day I go on the water is practice. It's practice for an event. Might not be that lake, but I'm learning, I'm practicing, I'm gaining knowledge. So I put a lot of time and effort into this fishing deal. And I've never really gone, hey, I'm gonna put money up and base it off of someone else. Now, I fish team events all the time. And I know who I'm putting my money up with. Like, I know that guy, Russell, Brent, I can go on, my buddy Eddie, and Kelly. I fished with Blake this year. I mean, I can talk about guys I fished with. Anthony, Justin. I mean, I go on and on about guys I fished with. And they've put in time. Like, I don't fish tournaments and go, yeah, I'm going to do all the work and they're just going to show up. Okay? And they don't want to either. They want to feel like they've put in time or put in something to contribute to that tournament. And so when I look at this and I'm going, I'm putting up money and a lot of it might come down to who I draw. I could draw a really good fisherman or I could draw a fisherman that's not that good. I've drawn a lot of coiners in my life. And some of them are freaking top notch. Like Steven Metter. Like if I knew I was going to draw Steven Metter every time, man, I'm putting money up all the time. Like, yeah, no problem. But I've drawn some other coiners that, and this is their first time, they're new, and there's nothing wrong with that. But now I'm putting up money and my effort, and I don't know really who's getting in the boat with me. For me, that's not something I want to sign up for. Some guys don't mind it, and I get that. And listen, I've never done that. I've never fished that tournament. I've had some guys say, Todd, you will like it. I don't think I will. If I can just, okay, no one's around, right? No one's around. And be as truthful as I can. Even if I fished a tournament with a guy I kind of halfway know, like if we lose fish, it's usually like I know their technique and what they do, and rarely is it their fault. And what I mean by that is like I've watched them set the hook, I know what they're using, I know the rods, I know everything they're doing, and rarely is it their fault when we lose a fish or they lose a fish. I've been fishing with these guys for years, and so sometimes fish just come off. Now I've been with some, very few, but I've been with some where I saw something. I'm not saying it contributed to them losing it, but I'm going, man, I wouldn't have done it that way. These are team partners, very rare. And then I've seen guys as co-anglers, and I see them lose fish all the time. I see them break off. I see them lose them. Not all of them, but I've seen a lot. I mean, we were doing, I'm getting a coin from MLF that shows that I fished over 100 tournaments with MLF. I think I'm up to like 140. So they're sending me like a century coin in the mail. So and a lot of those are Toyota events, probably 30, 40, 50 of them are Toyota events, which means at least 2 co-anglers, right? In every one of those events, I made quite a few top 10, so that's at least 3. That is a lot of co-anglers I've had in my boat, and a lot of them can fish. Like a lot of them can fish. I'm sitting there going, you should not be on the conger side. You should be on the boater side. I fished with other ones that are just trying to learn. And a lot of times you just never know who you're going to get. It would frustrate me. Like, I can't fish well knowing that, like, having that opportunity and watching it go away because of things. And I'm not out there to, like, correct them. I don't mind helping them. There's a big difference. But man, I'm not going to sit on the front of the boat and just sit there and tell them what I think they're doing wrong. That's just not me. I don't think that that's right. If they ask me, I'm more than willing to try to help them, just like I would try to help y'all. Like, if people have questions, I try to answer y'all the best way possible. But I would never sit there and watch someone and then critique them and then publicly say that to them. I have a couple times where I've just made a suggestion, but it would bother me the rest of the day going, God, I wish they didn't do that, or I wish they didn't throw that rod. A lot of it, I'll be honest with you, a lot of it's just like, man, I wish they would just change rods. Like, changing rods, and I've said this a million times, just changing rods would, like, fix a lot of this stuff. But I just don't think I could. I think at the end of the day, regardless of doing good or bad, I would be like, man, this just isn't my thing. Like, I'd rather spend my money, and when I spend it, I'd rather, like, it all fall on me. Like, if I do bad, it's all on me. If I do good, it's all on me. So I don't know. I'm sure some guys are going to comment on this, and it's one of those things. It's an opinion. Some of them say, man, this might be awesome. Some of them might say, hey, Todd, you might like it. It's one of those things I probably, without doing it, and there's a reason I probably haven't done it, is because I just know in the back of my mind I probably wouldn't like it. And I enjoy fishing. It's why sometimes I'm not fishing the invitationals or the BPT when I qualified for the invitationals, or I've qualified. The elites were a little bit different. The elites were about money when I qualified. I'm not fishing all 9 opens because I don't have a desire right now to go fish the elites. It doesn't look like fun to me right now. It seems like a lot of guys are unhappy there. And it's a sport where you don't really make a lot of money. Very few people make a lot of money. Very few people make money, much less a lot of money. And I can tell you one thing, with my job with Strike King, me and Russell fishing team events, me hanging out here right now at my daughter's soccer tournament, like, all those are fun. Like, working for Strike King, I just got back from the home office. Like, I got a dream job with it. Like, it's a phenomenal company to work for. I got a great team, like, that I get to work with every week. I get to fish with one of the best fishermen I've ever been with, Russell, and we get to fish team events and fish for big money and not have to travel as much. And then I get to spend time with my family because I'm not traveling to wherever they go, all over the country. I've got it down. Like, I enjoy it. I just don't know if I'd enjoy that. I didn't want to come on here and talk about that. And maybe some guys will come on here and shed some light about their experiences with it. And listen, this is my opinion. I want to say this one more time. This is how I view things. It doesn't mean I'm right. I think it means it's right for me. Some guys might love it. Some guys might have had the best experiences of their life with it. I do see people, like, some people enjoy the invitationals or the elites or the BPT. Some guys are having a blast there. I can tell you some guys aren't. And so, and I don't even think it's based on money. I think it's based on, like, whether or not they're, like, I looked a long time ago and be like, I'll never be rich from fishing. I just don't think I ever will be. I think I can make a living at it. And at the end of the day, after 30 something years of doing it at this level, or 20, I'd say 15 years of doing it at this level, like, I'm having the time of my life. Like, it's fun. Like, I can look back and say I've had a lot of fun doing this, and I want to keep having fun fishing, right? I enjoy waking up every day, and this is my job. It's great. So, but I look at certain things and I'm able to pick and choose. And I don't think that's something I would choose. I don't know. Comment and tell me your experiences. Let some other people know, because some other guys might be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And I like to hear something. I like to hear these stories. I think don't get me wrong. I think what it is phenomenal. Like, I think it's cool the way they do it. I should have probably put that in the beginning of the video. I think it's cool what they're doing. I just don't know if it'd be cool for me. And that's just me. Let me know what y'all think. All right. See y'all.